Earring brick, 2 feet thick, with internal iron reinforcement. Why reinforce a structure in a town with no density pressure? The pattern repeats. In 1866, the Union Pacific began construction on terminals across the Nebraska Territory, structures with standardized dimensions, identical window spacing, and uniform platform heights. Most were built before the towns had formal names. Surveyors marked coordinates. Engineers delivered blueprints. Construction crews arrived with prefabricated ironwork. Then the stations appeared, complete, operational, waiting. The waiting is what creates friction. Standard economic models suggest speculative construction follows land acquisition, surveying, and market projection. But these stations didn't follow settlement. They preceded municipal incorporation. In some cases, the station became the only legal address in a region. Mail was routed there. Census takers used the station master's records because no other population registry existed. The buildings weren't temporary. They were permanent installations built to institutional standards that wouldn't become widespread until the 1880s. Consider the materials: granite foundations, slate roofing, cast iron columns with decorative capitals, gas lamp fixtures connected to trunk lines that didn't yet serve residential areas. The Michigan Central Station in Kalamazoo included marble flooring in the main hall. The town had dirt roads. The architectural language was consistent across regions that had no direct communication. Swindon's Great Western Station used the same platform height standard as terminals being built simultaneously in Ohio and Indiana. The baggage handling systems, rolling carts on iron rails, appeared in England and America within a 2-year window, using nearly identical engineering. No patent was filed. No design competition announced. The system simply appeared, fully formed, in stations separated by an ocean. This synchronization extends to administrative systems, timetable formatting, ticketing procedures, freight classification codes. By 1855, a passenger could recognize the operational logic of a station whether they were in Manchester or Chicago. The signage, the waiting room layout, the ticket window configuration, all followed an unwritten standard that somehow propagated faster than the rail networks themselves. The speed of adoption creates questions. In 1848, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad published the first standardized employee manual. Within 3 years, railways across the United States and Britain had adopted nearly identical operational protocols: shift scheduling, safety procedures, maintenance cycles. The manuals read as though translated from a single source, yet no coordinating body existed. No International Railway Commission. No shared regulatory framework. The terminals reflect this institutional coherence. Walk through the remains of the 1850s-era stations still standing, and the design philosophy feels singular. High ceilings, not for ventilation but for presence. Stone construction, not for durability alone but for permanence. Spaces designed not for the people who lived nearby, but for the crowds that hadn't yet arrived. In 1860, the Grand Trunk Railway completed a terminal in Stratford, Ontario. The town had 1,200 residents. The station could accommodate 6 simultaneous arrivals. The freight warehouse attached to the terminal measured 200 feet in length, with internal sorting bays and a dedicated siding for livestock cars. Stratford had no industrial base, no export economy, no population density to justify the infrastructure. Yet the infrastructure was there, built, operational, and waiting. The waiting extends beyond stations. Surrounding the terminals, railways constructed support systems before demand existed. Water towers capable of filling locomotive tanks for routes not yet laid. Switching yards with track capacity exceeding the entire regional fleet. Telegraph lines strung to coordinate traffic that wouldn't reach operational density for 20 years. The Erie Railroad's Hornellsville terminal included a roundhouse, a circular maintenance facility for rotating and servicing locomotives. In 1854, the Erie operated 6 locomotives on that route. The roundhouse had capacity for 30. The overbuilding wasn't limited to a few ambitious projects. It was systemic. By 1865, The rail network across the northern United States and Britain had constructed terminal capacity exceeding projected demand by a factor contemporary analysts struggled to explain. Shareholders questioned the expenditure. Local governments expressed confusion. Yet construction continued, following architectural and operational standards that seemed to exist independent of market pressure. The stations didn't grow into their capacity gradually. They were built at full scale, then stood largely empty for years, sometimes decades, until population and commerce slowly rose to meet them. The question isn't whether railways built ahead of demand, that's documented. The question is why the buildings themselves feel like they were designed for a system that already existed. The over-preparation wasn't isolated to railways. In 1825, the Erie Canal opened across New York State, a continuous waterway stretching 363 miles from Albany to Buffalo. The engineering required 83 locks, 18 aqueducts, and excavation through bedrock using black powder and hand tools. The project took 8 years. What's rarely emphasized, the canal was built to dimensions that exceeded every commercial vessel operating in North America at the time. The channel measured 40 feet wide at the waterline, 28 feet at the base, and 4 feet deep. Canal boats of the 1820s averaged 14 feet wide and drew less than 3 feet of water. The Erie was built with capacity margins that wouldn't be utilized until the 1850s, when boat designs expanded to match the channel, not the other way around. The locks tell a deeper story. Each lock chamber measured 90 feet long and 15 feet wide. These dimensions weren't derived from existing boat sizes. They established a standard. Within a decade, boats across the canal system converged on dimensions just under the lock maximums, 88 feet by 14.5 feet. The infrastructure dictated the design of the vessels, as though the canal's builders anticipated a future fleet uniformity that hadn't yet been proposed. The aqueducts present similar questions. The Genesee River Aqueduct, completed in 1823, carried the canal 802 feet across the river valley on a stone bridge. The structure used 11 arches, each 50 feet wide, built to support water weight far exceeding the canal's operational requirements. Engineers drove foundation pilings 30 feet into the riverbed. The limestone blocks forming the arches weighed up to 6 tons each, fitted without mortar, using precisely cut angles. Why engineer for that much permanence in a speculative commercial project? The canal's construction moved faster than contemporary road building in the same region. Sections opened in sequence, fully operational, with towpaths, lockkeeper stations, and maintenance infrastructure already in place. By the time the canal reached Rochester in 1823, the city had already reorganized around it. Warehouses built to canal-side specifications, loading docks constructed to standard heights, administrative offices using filing systems that matched canal documentation protocols. The protocols themselves appear suddenly. Toll schedules, cargo classification systems, lock passage priority rules. By 1826, every lock station along the Erie operated using identical record-keeping methods. The ledgers, still preserved in New York archives, show uniform penmanship styles, standardized abbreviations, and synchronized reporting periods. No training academy existed. No central administrative manual was published. Yet 300 miles of canal infrastructure operated as a single coordinated system from the day it opened. This administrative coherence repeats across the Atlantic. In 1830, Britain began construction on a national postal system requiring standardized letterboxes, uniform collection times, and synchronized regional sorting facilities. The system reached operational status in 1840, the same year the penny post introduced prepaid postage. Within 2 years, every town with a population above 500 had a post office using identical architectural plans, the same counter heights, the same sorting cabinet dimensions. The buildings preceded the demand. In rural Yorkshire, a post office opened in 1842 in a village of 300 residents. The structure included sorting capacity for 2,000 letters daily. Actual mail volume averaged 40 letters per day. The building had gas lighting connected to a trunk line installed 6 months before the village's main street received service. The postal scales, Precision instruments calibrated to weigh letters within a quarter ounce were identical to those being installed in London offices processing 10,000 letters daily. Why deploy high-capacity infrastructure to low-density regions? The pattern extends to water systems. In 1848, Boston began constructing the Cochituate Aqueduct, a pipeline system bringing water from Lake Cochituate 14 miles west of the city. The system used gravity flow through iron pipes, with a delivery capacity of 7.5 million gallons daily. Boston's population in 1848 was 136,000. Contemporary usage estimates suggested 3 million gallons daily would exceed demand for decades. The system was built at full capacity immediately. The pipeline measured 48 inches in diameter along its entire length, no gradual expansion from a smaller initial installation. The receiving reservoir in Boston covered 106 acres, with an embankment 35 feet high, constructed using stone facing and clay core techniques that wouldn't become standard practice in American dam building until the 1870s. The engineering manual for the project, published in 1850, describes construction methods in language that assumes reader familiarity with concepts not yet taught in American engineering schools. References to hydraulic cement setting underwater and cast iron bell and spigot joints appear without explanation, as though the techniques were already common knowledge. They weren't. Hydraulic cement was a specialized European import in 1848. Bell and spigot joint casting required precision foundry work available in only a handful of American facilities. Yet the Cochituate Aqueduct used these methods throughout, as though the infrastructure demanded standards that exceeded local manufacturing capability. The construction timeline raises further questions. 14 miles of pipe, multiple pumping stations, tunnels through bedrock, and a massive urban reservoir, completed in 4 years. For context, the Croton Aqueduct in New York, built a decade earlier with similar scope, took 12 years. The Cochituate project moved at a pace that suggested either exceptional coordination or pre-existing institutional knowledge. Similar accelerated timelines appear in Britain. The London sewer system, designed by Joseph Bazalgette and constructed between 1859 and 1865, created 82 miles of intercepting sewers and over 1,000 miles of street sewers. The system served a population of 2.5 million but was built with capacity for 4 million, a population London wouldn't reach until 1880. The brick tunnels, some large enough to walk through upright, used construction techniques that appeared suddenly in the late 1850s. Egg-shaped cross-sections for optimal flow, Portland cement linings, ventilation shafts at precise intervals. The engineering standards propagated across the project without discernible learning curve. Early sections show the same construction quality as later sections, as though the crews arrived already trained. Where did the training occur? No dedicated civil engineering programs existed in Britain until the 1870s. The Institution of Civil Engineers, founded in 1818, functioned primarily as a professional society, not a training body. Yet by 1860, Britain had thousands of workers capable of executing complex underground construction using standardized methods, synchronized across multiple work sites. The synchronization extends to administrative systems. Municipal record-keeping shifted suddenly in the 1840s and 1850s. Property registries, tax assessment ledgers, census documentation, all began using uniform formats within a narrow time frame. Birth and death certificates adopted standardized templates. Marriage records followed identical organizational logic across regions with no direct administrative connection. The British General Registry Office, established in 1837, mandated vital statistics reporting. Within 5 years, parish clerks across England were using identical forms, filing protocols, and statistical categories. The transition happened faster than mail delivery times would have allowed for centralized instruction. The forms themselves suggest institutional memory. Categories for occupation, residence type, and household structure imply familiarity with classification systems not yet widely published. The 1841 census included questions about building materials and room counts, data points that wouldn't be analyzed systematically until decades later. It's as though the registry system was designed to capture information for future analysis using frameworks not yet articulated. This forward-looking design philosophy appears in American systems simultaneously. The 1850 United States Census introduced standardized household enumeration, occupation coding, and agricultural production metrics. The forms used in Maine matched those used in Missouri, not just in content but in layout, typography, and administrative processing instructions. No national census bureau existed. Coordination occurred through regional supervisors who received instructions by mail. Yet the execution was uniform. Enumerators across the country recorded data using identical abbreviations, the same handwriting conventions, the same methods for handling ambiguous responses.